The success of Chandrayaan 3 earlier this year has marked a turnaround for the Indian space sector. India is now the fourth country in the world to have achieved a soft landing on the moon and the only nation to have landed on the lunar south pole. And it did not end there. Soon after, the country reached another milestone following the successful launch of the Aditya L1 mission destined for the Sun. And then the country set its eyes on a manned mission to the moon by 2040. These triumphs have served a catalyst, breathing fresh life into the aspirations of the flourishing space startups. Union Minister Jitendra Singh recently said that space is becoming an important component of India's economy. Space startups in India have attracted an investment of over 1,000 crore rupees between April to December 2023. Singh said that India carries the potential to achieve a $100 billion space economy by the year 2040, much more than the current valuation of $8 billion. And the minister's confidence is not unfounded. The number of space startups in the country has grown tremendously. From a single space startup in 2014, India had 82 startups in 2020. The number has increased to 204 in 2023. According to the Indian Space Association, till November 2023, Indian space startups amassed almost $124 million in funding compared to $120 million in 2022. With a conducive policy environment and exciting opportunities in the sector, private funding has also flowed incrementally. Earlier this year, Alphabet, the parent company of Google, invested $36 million in Bangalore-based space startup Pixel. This marked the first major investment in the Indian space sector following the government's privatization policy in April. The private funding poured in after the government approved the crucial Indian Space Policy 2023, aiming to increase the country's share in the global space economy from the current 2%. The policy allows non-government entities to engage in all domains of space activities, enabling the private sector to leverage ISRO's expertise and experience. Also, the establishment of InSpace as the regulatory authority provided a comprehensive framework for overseeing space activities and promoting indigenous technologies. The Artemis Accords, signed in June, marked India as the 27th country collaborating with NASA in space exploration. Industry insiders believe that India's private space players will get a boost to expand their presence globally and increase India's footprint in the space economy. However, it isn't all bright and sunny for the space sector. While the number of space startups has grown over the years, their prime concern remains the potential market. The products and services of these startups are still heavily reliant on government contracts. So, what are the other issues that still haunt the space startups?
FDI policy or foreign direct investment policy. So that is yet to be announced, and we do not have any clarity on that yet. And that stops, foreign investors investing in Indian space companies, and the funding gets limited when you are in a growth stage company and you want to raise, let's say, more than 40-50 million dollars. That's first thing. The second thing is we have to look at the fact that even if we have a sector like this in India, it was always state run, and it is slowly transiting to commercial companies working on space industry right now. But we've still not seen government being an anchor customer for any of the products that are built by the Indian space companies. So creating a market locally and domestically is very important, even before we talk about the growth of the sector, because growth only comes if the government handholds and provides opportunities for Indian companies to work on developing products in India.
Experts point out that the optimization of space products will soon lead to a self-sustaining ecosystem like the Western nations. However, one major issue that the industry has faced of late is the lack of skilled human resource. The space sector is a niche industry and requires specific skill training. And with the boom in the private sector, the need for skilled labor is getting higher.
Since this sector remained with the reserved for the government, except ISRO, you did not find skill sets available anywhere else. And I don't mean skill set by working hands on the ground. I mean skill set right from mission planning to the absolute top end. So our startups actually have been doing some extremely good job there and huge promise which is visible. Now, there's enormous amount of action which is happening, and some of the IITs and many other engineering colleges now are moving towards creating space as a specific specialization.
So what does 2024 look like for space sector?
In fact, 24 we see that the number of launches are going to be further going up. There's a very clear decision by the government now that Kulashekhara will be the next launch pad, and that would obviously start getting under implementation. Subsequent year, we'll actually see commercial launches taking place, not just by the government, which has been the past, ISRO and NSIL. On the data utilization side, a lot is in the making, and a lot of new hardware as well as soft services are getting installed. Early contracts in terms of data processing, value-added services on data actually happening now. The Ministry of Defense, which is the biggest, one of the biggest consumer of Earth observation, actually having placed some contract.
As India reflects on the accomplishments and challenges of 2023, the focus remains on leveraging the momentum of the year's successes, particularly in skill development, to drive the country's space sector towards greater innovation and collaboration.
If you like this video, share it and subscribe to Business Standard. For more news, views and insights, log on to www.business-standard.com. Do also follow us on YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, Telegram and LinkedIn.
She's working her way to the corner office. Business Standard.